Eric here with a creatively cool, fully automated process. A way to take your e-commerce site and turn it into Pinterest pins within minutes. Stay tuned. Okay, now before we begin, there's a couple things that we're going to need to take care of first. One, you're going to need a Pinterest business account and not a Pinterest personal account. What we want to do is we want to come up here, this address bar. Even if you have a personal account, if you go to this address bar right here, you will be able to take your personal account and turn it into a business account. That's the first thing you must do. Second, after you do that, I want you to come here and actually type this in, developers.pinterest.com, and this will actually allow you to create what is called an app on Pinterest, so you will be able to use an API, which we will need later on in this tutorial. Okay, so now that you have those two things set up, I'm going to explain kind of an overview of what we're going to be doing. So one of the first things that we will need is this tool called ParseHub. And basically with this tool, we'll be able to web scrape our site, which means basically extract the data off our website. And then after we do that, we'll use a tool on make.com, which is basically like an automated tool where we'll create workflows or scenarios to help us automate the process of the data we scrape from our website. And then after we do that, we will make make.com talk to Pinterest, and that is actually how we'll actually make our pins on the business account that you just set up. Okay, now that we're all set up, we're going to come here to ParseHub.com, and we're actually going to sign up for an account. So click the sign up button and then fill out your information and sign up for an account. I already have one, so I don't need to do this. I'm going to quickly run through what ParseHub is. So basically, ParseHub is a free and powerful web scraping tool. It has an advanced web scraper that allows you to extract data. It's easy as clicking on the data you need. If I come over here to features, it basically can create or kick out your data from the site that you scraped and actually create a spreadsheet from that data, or can create an API, which we will be doing. What we primarily will be dealing with is this free tier, and you get 200 pages of data in only 40 minutes, but we're not going to scrape 200 pages. We're going to scrape one page, and that 40 minutes would be like a minute or less. You get 5 public projects, so you don't get any private projects. Data retention is 14 days, so basically the information that you scrape will be deleted within 14 days, but we'll be using it. And with the free tier, you can only run this on your desktop. That's that. And you can kind of go through here. They also have like free courses, so if you want to actually learn a little bit more about web scraping, you could just go on parse.com and kind of go through their free courses. I'm kind of going to run through it, but if you want to know a little bit more, you could just come here to their free courses. And then now we just come up here to download. For the Mac, Windows, we just click download your file. It tells you a few things that you might encounter if you download it. It's pretty straightforward. After you download, we'll come over here to your downloads folder, and what we want to do is be able to just click the setup and install it. Once it's installed, you go ahead and run it. And here we are. Now that we have ParseHub installed on our machine, we want to come here and come up here where it says new project and select that. And we come here to this field that's probably blank on your screen, and you want to paste in the URL of the site in which you want to scrub information from. So I already have it in here, but if we go back to my website, and actually I already did the one with all the earrings. So now I want to do the one with the triangular pouch, not purse, but pouch. It only got 5 here, so I want to just copy this URL up at the top, and then I want to come back over and just paste that in up here. You can hit Control V. If you right click, it's just going to give you this menu, which is with native to ParseHub, so you might have to use just Control V. Then you hit here, you hit start the project. I'm gonna call this, it's like a link tree, I'm gonna just call this products, give it a name, and then it's just simple. You in the select mode, and it's just really as simple as, all right, let me select this tag, which is my title, my name, and it already kind of does this thing in yellow where it's showing you that, hey, this must be the ones that he wants to select, iterate all over. So I'll select the next one to it, and then select them all on the page, and it gives me a little preview window with the products and the URLs to these different triangular zipper pouches, which is pretty awesome. And then I can come over here and I can rename it. So this would be actually product name, and this will actually be my product URL. Okay, now see here, it's giving me like products underscore product URL, but that's just in my CSV or Excel. But when the JSON, which I want, see how it comes out product underscore name and product underscore URL. So that's awesome. That's what I want to do. Now I come back up here and I say, okay, I want this information, but I actually want to be able to click into this information and get the details of each one of these products. So I come up here, I add an action, and I say I want to make a click action. So I want to be able to click on that and then go into the detail page. Is triangle zipper pouch key ring a next page button? No. That's if you had like pagination. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna say no, and then it's asking me to create some type of template. I just keep it default. I don't care. And then you say, or you can give it a name. You can say create new template, and then boom, now we into our details page. Now this is important because this could kind of be confusing a little bit in select mode. Now you're actually in the page, and it creates this like link tree. So the first thing I want to do, I want to get, I don't really need the name anymore because I already got the name from previously, but you might want this little sub name, and maybe you can give it like product under the sub title, right? Okay, so now you got the product subtitle. Now, let's see. Now see how I accidentally clicked and it gave me all this. So, and that's what I was going to show you. You can accidentally end up clicking somewhere and it's going to keep feeding into this one selection, and that's not what you want to do. You don't want to put all this information into like one long string down here. That's not what you want to do. You want to, so I'm going to delete that because I messed up, and just be kind of careful. So I know I still want this sub. I'm going to come back and rename it. So I'm going to select this subtitle text, and then you want to come up here and actually click and add select. So this creates another under this link, like a link tree. So it's under here, and now I'm gonna say give me the description, and then I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna say give select, and then I'm gonna get this image, and that's pretty much all the information that I'm gonna get. Now I'm gonna come back and make it easier. I'm gonna just say just name these, because sometimes it's kind of sensitive and you don't want to be selecting stuff and you just got a whole bunch of bad information that you didn't want, the things you didn't want. So I know this is actually description, and the first one is like sub. And then that's it. So after you have everything, you have everything highlighted in green what you wanted. I have my image here, and I have my description at the bottom, and then I have my little subtitle. Now you come back up here to this tab, and now you can see, well, it's not giving you a preview, but it's telling you this is the parts that you do have. So when I came under here, see on the JSON, gives me a nice JSON. If I come up here in CSV, it's going to give me these little preview. But what I want to be able to do now that I got this, I can just say get data, and it'll bring you over to the screen. You could do a test run to see it actually collect, but I'm just going to run it because I already know it's going to work. Now it has finished running, and now I have the choice of either downloading as an Excel sheet, a JSON, or API. We're going to use JSON, so I'm going to click that. It's going to ask me where I want to download it. I'll just say save it. Now I just open it up, and this is what it looks like. Now if you got an Excel spreadsheet, it probably open up in Excel, or if you download it as Excel. But this is the JSON data that I need, and see how my naming convention worked out: product name, product URL, product subtitle, product description, etc., etc. Now I'm going to put this to the side because I'm going to end up just copying this and pasting it into the next program that we use. Okay guys, if you made this far, great. We cooking. All right, so this is the fun part. So we actually want to come to make.com, which is an automation tool that we can use to create these pins. So if you already signed up, then go ahead and log into your account, and you should be able to log in with your Google, Facebook, GitHub, or just you can log if you create a new account and then sign up with your email and password. Once you log in to make.com, you'll come over here to a screen. You'll come to this screen, and this is your dashboard. So I already have a scenario, my apologies, that I've already ran to create those pins on my first site. And you want to come down here to what's called scenarios or workflows. If you're from N8N, it's workflow. So this is the actual automation that we will actually create. And so basically that's taking our JSON data that we got, and that's why I said you need to download and copy it. Well, we're not going to copy it, but you need to download it, and then we're going to paste it into this node or module, and then we're going to iterate over that JSON or that array of information, and then we'll actually create our pin. So hopefully you create your Pinterest account. Hopefully you create your developer account, because Pinterest and make.com need to be able to talk to each other, and that's how they'll do that. Okay, now this is where it gets good. So when you come to your dashboard, we want to come up here and just say create a new scenario, and we can give our scenario a name. In this case, I might just call it create pins. I don't know, name it whatever you want to. Okay, so in here we need a trigger, basically a start, right? It could be a Google Sheet, it could be a webhook, you could have some type of service online that feeding your data, but what we want, we already have our data. We don't need to pull it from anywhere. So we want to create a JSON module or node, and we want to be able to parse our JSON data, meaning that we're going to make these nice bundles of information, right? So nice bundles of JSON data. Okay, now I'm gonna run through real quick data structure and then the JSON string. The JSON string is the information that we actually downloaded from ParseHub app, and that file, we're gonna paste that in here. But before we do that, let's give our data structure, a data structure. So I'll add one. I already got them, but let's just call this, let's just keep it my data structure pins. I don't know, name it whatever you want where you don't get confused. And we're going to generate it actually, which is pretty cool. So what we want to do is the data that we download, it needs a sample in order to build the structure. So I'm going to take the data that I have And see these curly brackets right here? So we could take these curly brackets from this curly bracket to where it says products, another curly bracket, and come on down. I'm gonna just copy like 2 of them. Right click and then copy. And then I'm actually gonna go ahead and paste that sample data in here. And then I have to make sure that I use a square bracket, close square bracket, and then a open bracket to actually close that up, because I actually have that up here. This is just basically an array of information. That's what that's saying. So I'm closing the array and I'm closing the collection. And then I say generate, and it took from that, okay, this is the structure that it's in, right? So it's telling me that this is an array. It's telling me the products, this is an array, and it's a collection within this array. Product name. So it's giving structure to the data that you're feeding into this parser. So okay, after that, you can't put strict. I don't put strict. So I'll just hit save. And then what we want to do is go ahead and select all this data and copy it. And then we're going to just paste that in here, right into this box right here. So we paste it, and hopefully we have no errors. And let's hit save and let's see what happens. And it's just telling me, this little yellow thing is just telling me that a transformer should not be the last module. That meaning that it needs to have something else that this data is running to. But we can actually run this data and it should be green. Boom, we green, we Gucci. Because now all the information that we put in with the string, now it's coming out here with all our products in a nice little bundled JSON goodness. So now that we have our JSON module working, we want to be able to come in here and actually add another module. And that next module will be an iterator. Basically what an iterator will do for us is go through our array in a sequential manner, basically like looping over all the items in our array or looping over the collection in our array. Okay, so what we have to do right now is just come here in this box, and if we click it, come here, and you see where our products is at right here, we could just grab and drop that right into here and then click save. And we can actually come in here and we can actually run this module by right clicking and then say run this module, hit OK, and then boom, it actually is good. So when we go ahead, it's green. So when we go ahead and actually trigger this data, we trigger this data, and then it's going to go ahead and iterate over our information, and we should be good. Okay, now I'm going to leave here for just a quick second. We're going to make that comment for a quick second, because the next module that we're actually going to create is actually the Pinterest module. Well, we can go ahead and create the Pinterest module. You just come down here, search for Pinterest, and we actually want to hit this module called create pin. So when you create your pin for the first time, yours is not going to look like this, because you actually got to create a connection with Pinterest. So hopefully you were able to create your business account and you were create your developer account. So I'm going to go ahead and come up to this tab real quick, because I'm going to show you something real quick. In your developer, if you type that, like I said, you type that developer address when you're logged into your business account. You want to type that in, and then you'll be able to come over here and then come to my apps. You click that my apps, and it's going to tell you your apps. Now, what this basically, the reason why you got to create app is because Make.com needs to talk to Pinterest, right? So when you go ahead and click Make App or My Apps, let's go back here, and you say Connect App, you got to actually kind of like, you got to create an app, okay? And basically it's just our automation. So you can upload an image. It could just be, I don't know, 500 by 500 square, whatever. You got to have a app icon. Give it a name. So like pen automation, your company name, company website. You can take this, your company website, if you actually have a privacy link, or privacy policy, put that in there. You can upload it, just a document somewhere, but just make sure you have a link there. It needs that. And then why you created your app, the purpose, just to give access. I'm creating an app to give access. Pin creation, use pension reporting, pin other, I don't know, whatever the reason why you're doing it. Audience is just creators, and then I'm not a robot, and submit. And then when you, after you create your app, you're going to come back, you're going to be at this screen, and then you'll be able to manage your app. It'll basically give you your app ID, and it give you this secret API key. You need both of these. You need your app ID and your secret key, right? And you could just copy your token here, and then you'll get your secret key. But I've already set that up. But just keep that in mind. So keep this page open when you're creating your Pinterest module. And another thing that you're going to want to do is come over here when you're on your business page, and you want to create a board, because you need to tell Make.com where you actually want to place your pins, and pins are placed on a board. So you can hit this little plus sign, and I want to say I want to create a board, and I'm going to call this board, matter of fact, I'll come here to triangular zipper pouch, and I'll just paste that in there, and let's say for sale, I guess. Keep it all together. And then you want to hit create. And I'm going to say done. And basically this is just a blank board. Now the magic, just watch the magic. Okay, so we got a blank board there. Now I'm going to come back over to my Make.com site. I added my module. Now this is where you're going to want to put you're going to want to add your connection. So I might say my connection here is triangular pouch pins, or connection, or whatever you want to say. Put that in there. You're going to add it. You're going to hit save, and then this box is going to pop up. And basically what this pop-up box is going to say, give Make.com access to Pinterest, your Pinterest account, right? It's probably some type of login. You're going to put your secret code and everything into this box, and you just say give access. And then now I'm giving access, the connection to my Pinterest account. Okay, now we already established our connection. Even before we do that, let's go ahead and click save, this little button down here, so you can save your workflow. I'm sorry for telling y'all this late, but hit save. Values empty, that's fine. We're gonna say save anyway. That way our scenario was saved. So let's go back here and finish filling out our form. So here we go, our source type. After we made our connection, hit source type, and we want to say image URL. In the image URL field, it is actually going to be our product image. Boom, that's the image for our products. Become the board. The board we actually created is the triangular zipper pouch. And then board selection, we're actually going to say keep that empty. The title will be actually our product name, or product name. Description, this is starting to become self-explanatory. Product description. We come down here, alternate text. I like to put that subtitle text. Dominant color. I keep that blank because that's actually part of the image. I don't have that. And then we're gonna do product URL. And I'm sorry, this is alternate text. You can put something there. I just put that little subtext of people with screen readers. That's fine. I don't have any notes. And then I push save. Now we're all ready to go. We're all wired up. So if this works correctly, our JSON is parsed. Our iterator iterates over our data. And then Pinterest will go ahead and create the pins. Now, remind you, the board here is empty. There's no pins in it yet. So let's do the magic. And we just basically come down here. Let's run our scenario and see what happens. And it's going. 4, and it should be 5. Boom. So it ran it. And everything looks green. So let's see what happens. Come over to Pinterest. Remember, no boards here. Let's refresh the page. And boom, look at that. All our pins are created for us. We didn't have to do this one-on-one. Man, you cannot beat that. And then it comes in here. It even matches it to similar pouches. Then you come in here, you can visit the site and look at that. Boom, it comes to the site. And that's it, folks. So to recap, we created a JSON parser, we iterated over our information, and it kicked it out to Pinterest. The probably the most hardest thing, or the thing that I learned in this, is just basically all the setup. You kind of got to make sure that you kind of clean your data, sanitize your data before you actually bring it in Make.com. But Make.com makes things so easy. The JSON could actually, it doesn't necessarily have to be JSON. Your trigger could be on a server somewhere. So you can use a Google Sheet, a Word document, email. You can get information from email, pull information out of your email, Gmail, iterate over it and kick it out to Pinterest. You can kick it out to a document. If you like this type of information or this video that I did, please let me know in the comments below and I'll make more videos. This is my first one, so it's a little bit rough and it won't be as long and the next time, I promise you, because I hate looking at long videos too. But I'm out.